The film opens with Sawyer Scott, a college student, her athletic figure cutting through the morning air as she runs laps on the track. Each stride is a testament to her ambition, a physical manifestation of her drive. The sun catches the sheen of sweat on her brow, and her breath comes in rhythmic puffs. Suddenly, her phone vibrates in her pocket, interrupting her routine. She pulls it out, her heart quickening as she sees the voicemail notification. It's the company she applied to, the one that could change her life. With trembling fingers, she presses play. The voice on the other end is crisp and professional, delivering the news she's been longing for, an interview in Washington, D.C., and it's scheduled for the day after tomorrow. A wave of elation washes over her, a feeling so intense it almost makes her dizzy. She imagines the possibilities, the career she's always dreamed of, finally within reach. The rest of the day is a blur of excited phone calls to her parents, packing her bags, and planning her route. The next morning, Sawyer sets off, her car filled with the promise of a new beginning. The highway hums beneath her tires, and the scenery blurs past her window. But then, the radio announcer's voice cuts through the music, warning of heavy holiday traffic ahead. A digital map on her phone suggests a detour, a rural route that promises to save her time. She hesitates, but the thought of missing her interview pushes her forward. The rural route is a stark contrast to the bustling highway. The roads narrow, the landscape becomes more isolated, and the silence is punctuated only by the hum of her engine. The GPS, once a reliable guide, begins to falter, its directions becoming increasingly erratic. She finds herself at a dead end, a dirt road leading into a dense, ominous forest. Frustration mounts as she tries to reroute, but the GPS remains stubbornly unhelpful. A T-junction appears, and she pulls over, desperate to make sense of the map. As she unfolds the paper map, she notices two men, Hollister and Buck, digging nearby. Their movements are furtive, their eyes darting nervously in her direction. A chill runs down her spine, and she quickly folds the map and drives away, her unease growing. She stops again, her eyes scanning the map, trying to find a way back to the highway. A truck pulls up behind her, and Hollister and Buck emerge, their smiles strained. They offer help, their voices too smooth, their questions too probing. Hollister takes her map, tracing a route with his finger, then invites her to dinner. She politely declines, but he insists, his tone hardening slightly. The sun is setting, casting long, eerie shadows across the landscape. Suddenly, Buck grabs her arm, his grip surprisingly strong. Sawyer reacts instinctively, grabbing a knife from his pocket and stabbing him. He recoils, his eyes filled with rage, then retaliates, stabbing her thighs. She screams, pain searing through her legs, but manages to break free and flee into the dense, unforgiving woods. The woods are a labyrinth of gnarled trees and tangled undergrowth. She stumbles through the darkness, her breath ragged, her legs burning with pain. She finds a shallow burrow, a temporary refuge, and uses her sweater to staunch the bleeding. She hears the brothers' voices, their footsteps crunching on the leaves, and her heart pounds in her chest. She grabs a rock, throws it in the opposite direction, and holds her breath as the brothers follow the sound. As darkness deepens, the brothers give up their initial search, their voices fading into the night. Sawyer, exhausted and terrified, curls up in the burrow, her body shaking with cold and fear. Sleep comes in fitful bursts, punctuated by nightmares. The next morning, at the local police station, Sheriff Nick, a man of quiet integrity, answers a call about an abandoned car. He relays the information to his boss, Sheriff Doyle, a man with a reputation for cutting corners. Doyle dismisses the call, but Nick's instincts tell him something is wrong. He heads to the scene, finding Sawyer's car and a pool of blood on the ground. Doyle then visits the brothers' house, his eyes scanning the cluttered living room, noticing the fresh scratches on their arms. They claim it was a hunting accident, and Doyle, despite his suspicions, accepts their story, knowing they are involved in his drug operation. Sawyer awakens, her body stiff and sore. She struggles to move, her legs still weak from the stab wounds. She finds shelter near a cliff, trying to tend to her injuries. She clings to the hope that someone will find her, that her car will be discovered. But then, she hears the roar of an engine, and she watches in horror as the brothers push her car down a ravine, their voices echoing with cruel laughter. She retrieves her broken phone from the wreckage, finding missed calls from her mother. She tries to call back, but there's no signal. The brothers continue their search, Hollister finding bloody leaves, a chilling reminder of how close they are. Sawyer wanders deeper into the woods, her phone dying, leaving her completely isolated. As darkness falls, she collapses, disoriented and helpless. She awakens in a dimly lit trailer, her wounds bandaged. Lowell, a reclusive man with haunted eyes, reveals he found her. She tries to escape, but the doors are locked. The trailer's kitchen is a makeshift laboratory filled with beakers, tubes, and the acrid smell of chemicals. Lowell approaches, his expression unreadable, and Sawyer, in a panic, throws lye at his face, then collapses. At the police station, Nick argues with Doyle, insisting on a thorough investigation. Doyle dismisses his concerns, protecting the brothers. Sawyer regains consciousness, her hands tied. Lowell offers her food, explaining the dangers of the area. Sawyer pleads for help, but Lowell ignores her. She notices him packing meth, and between bites of her sandwich, introduces herself, explaining her situation. A vehicle approaches, and Sawyer screams for help. Lowell silences her, warning her of the danger. Hollister and Buck arrive, revealing Lowell is their cousin and meth cook. They question him about Sawyer, but he denies seeing her. Sawyer tries to break her restraints with lye. The brothers, suspicious of Lowell's behavior, search the trailer, but Sawyer has escaped. They leave, satisfied. Lowell finds Sawyer and brings her back. At the police station, State Police Commander Slattery reprimands Doyle for his lack of progress on Sawyer's case. Nick reveals Sawyer's identity, and Slattery orders a full investigation. Lowell tells Sawyer she was clever to use lye on her ropes. She begs him to help her, but he explains the dangers of the area. He unties her, promising to take her to the state police after the brothers leave for Charleston. Doyle confronts the brothers, revealing their connection. Hollister admits they attacked Sawyer because they thought she saw them burying a body for Doyle. They assure him she's dead. The next morning, Lowell shows Sawyer his meth operation, including the dangerous anhydrous ammonia. She steals a garden fork for protection. Lowell hides her when the brothers arrive. Nick, advised to take time off, overhears Doyle ordering Hollister to kill Sawyer. He confronts Doyle, but Doyle shoots him dead. Doyle gives the brothers Nick's body and Sawyer's wallet. Slattery confronts Doyle about Sawyer and Nick's disappearance. Doyle frames Nick for Sawyer's disappearance, using her wallet. Doyle visits Lowell's trailer, but Lowell threatens him with a shotgun, revealing his knowledge of Doyle's corruption. Doyle leaves, warning the brothers about Lowell. The brothers collect their meth, Hollister noticing 2 sets of footprints. Lowell tells Sawyer they'll leave at dusk. She returns the garden fork, but he tells her to keep it. The brothers return, confronting Lowell about Sawyer. Lowell claims he's holding her hostage. Sawyer secretly adds anhydrous ammonia to coffee and heats it in the microwave. Buck notices something wrong, and the microwave explodes, killing him. Sawyer and Lowell escape, but Lowell is badly injured. He gives Sawyer directions to the road. Hollister, burned, tries to shoot Sawyer, but Lowell intervenes. Doyle arrives, shooting Lowell and Hollister. Sawyer reaches the road, but Doyle picks her up, posing as a helpful officer. She tells him everything, including Lowell's help. Doyle reveals his true nature, using the same phrase she heard him say to Lowell. He takes her to a river, attempting to drown her. Sawyer fights back, using the garden fork to kill him. Exhausted, Sawyer walks towards the road, following Lowell's directions. Police cars arrive, but she's too traumatized to react. She walks on, a survivor marked by unimaginable horrors.